Many people in Ireland are still struggling badly with debt, a debt overhang from the property crash back in 2008 and 2009. Many people have had debts sold from various lenders who've left the jurisdiction. The debts being sold, the mortgages being sold to the likes of Pepper or Start or Smart, whatever they're called. Pepper would be one of the ones who are handling a lot of mortgages, handling a lot of home loans. Some people have recovered well from the fallout from the property price crash and the freedom with which they could borrow significant amounts of money back in 2006, 2007, 2008, when there was the sort of Celtic Tiger property situation in full roar, as it were. And then obviously property prices crashed and people were left with a lot of debt. Some people have recovered well and some people have not recovered so well. Some people are still struggling or to deal with debt. One of the questions I'm often asked by people who contact me both online on social media sites like Facebook or YouTube or TikTok especially, and by email to me and calling the office here is how can they deal with the debt that they may have still hanging over them and which is causing them a great degree of stress and anxiety and so on. What I would suggest is looking at some of the arrangements that are available as a consequence of the legislation that was brought in 2012, the Personal Insolvency Act of 2012. It set up the Insolvency Service of Ireland, and it also brought into law debt relief notices, debt settlement arrangements, and the personal insolvency arrangement. The personal insolvency arrangement is one that has caught my eye recently and indeed in the last couple of years, because I have seen some very good deals for persons who are trying to deal with debt, trying to deal with home loans, mortgages and so on, and they've gone down the personal insolvency arrangement route and they have got extremely good deals. Now, I'm not saying that a personal insolvency arrangement is for everybody, but it is something that you should consider, and the debt settlement arrangement is something you should consider as well. In this video, I want to just look at broadly what the personal insolvency arrangement is about. Firstly, it may be appropriate for you if you are insolvent, but you can make some payments towards your debts. In other words, you have some income still and you have a mortgage. So a personal insolvency arrangement is suitable for a person with a mortgage or secured debt. The PIA, that's a personal insolvency arrangement, is a formal arrangement with your creditors which allows you to write off some debt and restructure other debt. Creditors can no longer contact you about the debts, and you'll almost certainly be permitted to stay in the family home and avoid repossession. And that's a huge fear, obviously, for many people. The personal insolvency arrangement then has a supervision period of 5 years and must be agreed by you and approved at a creditors' meeting. So the creditors at a meeting will approve or fail to approve the personal insolvency arrangement that you are proposing for them. If the creditors do not agree, you can go to court and ask the court to impose the deal on your creditors. And this is where we see some high-profile cases in court, in the High Court, or indeed in the Circuit Court, where a court will approve a PIA in circumstances where the lender is not agreeable. There was a recent case there in the Circuit Court in Tullamore, where the Circuit Court judge, imposed the personal insolvency arrangement on Pepper Finance and ordered them essentially to provide finance or charge a rate of 2.5% over, I think, the further 25 years of the home loan. Pepper obviously opposed that, didn't agree with it, but the judge decided that that was in order. When a personal insolvency arrangement is in place, you are allowed reasonable living expenses, and the Insolvency Service of Ireland has a website It has a calculator on that website, and that allows you to calculate your reasonable living expenses. This will consider your personal circumstances. For example, you may be married with children, or you may be a single mum, or you may be a single person, or whatever. At the end of the supervision period of the PIA, provided you've stuck to the deal, the unsecured debts you owe are written off. You'll still have the debt on your secured debts, for example, your mortgage. If your circumstances change during the term of the PIA terms can be changed. How do you get a personal insolvency arrangement? Your first port of call is to go to a personal insolvency practitioner, a PIP. They will help you look at your situation and see whether a PIA is suitable for you or not, and they'll help you with the necessary paperwork and financial statements and so on, so that eventually you'll be able to put a proposal, a PIA, to your creditors. A PIP will charge a fee for this service. Some PIPs offer a free initial consultation, and MABS, the Money Advice Bureau Service, I think, or Budgeting Service, can give you a voucher under the Awalia scheme, and that allows you to get a free consultation with a PIP. It's well worth doing. MABS have their own website, and check out the Awalia scheme. It allows you to get a free consultation with a PIP. What debts does a PIA cover? Secured and unsecured debt, including home loans, investment property loans, buy-to-let mortgages, credit union loans, credit card loans, business loans, personal guarantees. Debts that cannot be included include family law maintenance, court fines, liabilities arising from personal injury claims, loans obtained by fraud. Debts that may be included with the permission of the creditor include household charges, local authority rates, taxes and duties payable to the state, annual service charges to management companies for apartments and houses. Are you eligible for a PIA? Firstly, you must have cooperated in a mortgage arrears process with the secured creditor for your home. So you may have received a letter saying that you're now in the mortgage arrears process because you've missed a payment or payments or whatever, but you must have cooperated with the lender in that process. You must be insolvent, be likely to remain insolvent for 5 years, have secured debts of €3 million or less, there's no limit on unsecured debts, owe debt to at least one secured creditor holding a charge or security over Irish property, for example, that would be a bank or some sort of a lender, not have had a PIA previously, not had a protective certificate in the past year, not had a debt relief notice in the last 3 years, not had a debt settlement arrangement in the last 5 years, not been involved in a bankruptcy in the last 5 years. The key thing is you meet a PIP, you do the consultation, you get advice, and he or she should be able to advise you as to whether a PIA is right for you or not, and whether you're eligible or not. How do you apply? You go to a PIP. So you must use a personal insolvency practitioner, and you must complete a prescribed financial statement setting out your financial circumstances honestly. You'll find a list of PIPs up and down the country on the Insolvency Service of Ireland website. Another useful source of information is the MABS, the Money Advice and Budgeting Service, which is sponsored by the state. Steps then in a personal insolvency arrangement including 1. Check eligibility, 2. Choose a PIP, 3. Get all the information, your information assembled before the PIP consultation. Then you go number 4 for the PIP consultation and advice. Number 5, you appoint a PIP. 6, the PIP applies for a protective certificate. This gives you protection whilst you're trying to arrange a deal with your creditors. Number 7, the PIP notifies your creditors. Number 8, the PIP makes a proposal to the creditors. So the PIP invites creditors to make their proposals as to how the debts will be dealt with as part of a personal insolvency arrangement. In other words, the PIP invites the creditors to make their proposals. Then there's going to be a creditors meeting, and over 50% of creditors must vote in favour of your personal insolvency arrangement. Number 10, the court approves the personal insolvency arrangement and it comes into effect. And then number 11, there's an ongoing review of the PIA each year with your PIP, and that goes on for 5 years. The alternatives to a personal insolvency arrangement, if a PIA is not suitable for you, include voluntary arrangement with your creditors. That's basically doing a deal with them of some description. B, a debt relief notice. That's not suitable if you have a mortgage. It's suitable if your debts are less than 35,000 and you're on a low income. C, a debt settlement arrangement. There's no minimum or maximum limits on your debts, but it's not suitable if you have a mortgage. And the last and final alternative to a PIA is bankruptcy. This is an option of last resort. You basically hold your hands up, say you're going to go bankrupt, and you enter into a bankruptcy for the relevant period of time. Your debts are wiped, but obviously your credit history is seriously damaged, and you're going to have a great difficulty getting a loan in future, and it may have other implications or consequences for you as well, depending on your business and your profession and what you hope to do and so on. Hope you find this video useful. If you do, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up down below, and I would suggest that if you do have debts that are causing you anxiety or stress, your first port of call really should be a personal insolvency practitioner, a PIP. Get advice. As I say, there's a list of PIPs on the Insolvency Service of Ireland website, and there's a list of the approved regulated PIPs. Thanks a lot.